Welcome. My name is Brad Prather. I'm with DWD Technology Group, and thank you for joining me today for our Sage 100 software tip, how to reverse an entire AP check run. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where the checks didn't print correctly, or they were misnumbered, or you just found yourself needing to actually void an entire check run? Well, starting with Sage 100 version 2020, that functionality now exists. There are a couple of pieces of information that you can gather before going into this functionality. One is the register number of the cash disbursements journal, or if you have at least one check number from that journal, you can find the check range. But gathering one of those two pieces of information before starting would be very helpful. That functionality can be found in the Accounts Payable module in the Utilities folder. Down near the bottom, you now have a task called Reverse Check Run. Click on that, and you can reverse using two different options, either the bank code and check number. And so in my particular case, I know that the bank code is D, and I know that one of the check numbers is 15. And so if I enter that, I can find that check run. Now, I can also go up here, just for purposes of our training today, and I can do that by the register number as well. So if I know what the cash disbursement journal number is, I can enter that and get back to the same place. Okay? There's a listing of my checks. Now, this was not a very big check run, but I do have a couple checks, and I do want to reverse both of them. I'm also going to recommend that when you reverse these, where possible, that you use the same date as the original check. That will assist with keeping your general ledger in balance as well as the bank reconciliation. Not a requirement, but just a recommendation. So I've found my check run. I'm going to click on the Proceed button. It's going to ask me what date I want to reverse that check register. Again, my recommendation is, where possible, that you go ahead and use the same check date and posting date as your original check run. In this case, mine was June 5th of 2020. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Print button. I have my Sage 100 set to print my registers to paperless office, so it should generate the PDF form for me, which it did. I will drag that over to my other monitor. So this, as in every register in Sage 100, this is your opportunity to review this register to make sure that it is in fact doing what you want it to do. Now, you will notice that in this particular case, I do only have the choice to reopen those invoices. I did not get a choice to actually void those and not reopen the invoices. So this will in fact make those payables, or I should say those invoices, payable again. That looks correct. Again, I'm going to check my posting date, always important to do with any register. That's the date I want to post. I will close that. Do I want to update? Yes, I do. And then again, just as in any other register, it's going to ask you to print the daily transaction register. I'm going to say yes. Again, in my particular case, it will generate as a PDF file once I click on print. I'm going to let that generate. Again, I recommend good practices. Always review these journals and registers before updating. I know it's very easy to get in a hurry and click, click, click. But at a bare minimum, I always want to check my posting date. And then in this case, I know that I had $2,500 worth of checks. Those are being reversed, going back into my bank accounts, as well as then my payables. I will close that. Do I want to update the daily transaction register? And yes, I do. And that's all there is to it. Very handy functionality now that instead of going through each check individually, we can now use the reverse check run functionality to reverse an entire check run. Very helpful, obviously, if you have hundreds or even 50 to 60 checks. Thank you very much for attending this Sage 100 software tip. Please Check our website at dwdtechgroup.com, where you can find other software tips and Sage 100 training videos. Again, my name is Brad Prather, and I thank you very much for attending.